Holt 120 and Westinghouse's one-piece cast design. Welcome back to the engine history. Right now, we're taking a close look at the restoration of the 20-ton Holt 120 artillery tractor engine. This machine was abandoned outdoors in the snow for 80 years, with the entire mechanical system seized solid. To tear it down and bring it back to life, the crew had to remake hundreds of parts, flush the combustion chamber, and rebuild the radiator piping system with extreme effort. Miss even one tiny pinhole, and it leaks coolant, pressure drops, and everything goes downhill. In return, this inline six-cylinder block delivers pure, stubborn pulling power, making 120 horsepower at a very low engine speed of just 550 revolutions per minute. It's brute mechanical torque built for tracked vehicles that bite into mud. Step back into the steam era, and the 1881 Westinghouse block shows a brilliantly clever mechanical decision. Engineers didn't bolt separate sections together. They chose to cast the cylinder, valve chest, and crankshaft bearing supports as one single piece. A one-piece casting is harder to machine, but it creates an absolutely rigid backbone. That rigidity eliminates misalignment under load and lets the machine work brutally hard for decades on large farms. Deutz-Ma 436 and a gearbox-free reverse. Moving into heavy diesel, the 1938 Deutz-Ma 436 proves the strength of bottom-end RPM. It uses only one horizontal cylinder, but the displacement reaches 12,450 cubic centimeters. The speed is locked around 420 revolutions per minute, and every full compression and power stroke hits the crankshaft like a hammer blow, forcing the cast iron flywheel to carry momentum. Here is a minimalist breakthrough in the same spirit. A 1,000 horsepower diesel installed in the barge MS Zwarte Zee in 1956 eliminates the reverse gearbox. When reverse is needed, the engineer adjusts the cam system to change injection timing and valve timing, then uses compressed air to drive the crankshaft in the opposite direction. That solution cuts dead weight and reduces the risk of a gearbox jam. In that same era, Britain's Gardner line set a benchmark for clean combustion. The 1986 Gardner 8L3B achieved thermal efficiency above 40%. With extreme fuel consumption as low as 0.328 pounds per brake horsepower hour, it became a king in marine circles thanks to its stubborn, rugged design. Before we dive deeper into stationary engines and aviation power plants, if you love slow RPMM detonations and the precision of vintage mechanical systems, hit subscribe on the engine history. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you can catch rare teardown footage and technical analysis. Your support gives the team the motivation to keep restoring, breaking down specifications, and preserving these valuable engine blocks. Stationary engines and heat-soaked hot bulb power. Stationary engines were not built to travel. They were built to stay planted and pull heavy systems from one spot. Look at the Fairbanks Morse Model Z with massive cast iron flywheels on both sides. That flywheel mass locks the rotation into an even rhythm and absorbs load swings when grain milling or pumping hits harder. The Ruston Hornsby IP from 1925 is tiny at just 5 horsepower, but it's built like a tank. It can carry an entire General Electric dynamo generator system to light up a whole farm without dropping RPM. The most unusual ritual belongs to the hot bulb Fairbanks Morse Model Y from 1915. No starter motor, no spark plug. The mechanic must use a blowtorch to heat the cast iron bulb at the top of the cylinder head until it glows red, then hand crank to build momentum. Starting is brutal, but the payoff is huge. That combustion chamber will chew through anything, from kerosene to dirty crude sludge. Spray fuel onto the hot bulb, and it self-ignites. More than a century later, this block still pounds steadily under proper, hard-handed maintenance. Air-cooled Deutz and AV-12 in the sky. Switching to mobile machinery, the air-cooled Deutz BF6 L913 is an ideal solution for job sites that lack water. The cylinder barrels are packed with cooling fins, driven by a high-speed fan, and combined with a turbocharger that forces more intake air. The result is about 130 horsepower in an extremely compact package. Next to it is the Deutz F12 L413 V12, mounted on an Atlas Copco PRH 700DB air compressor, built to deliver massive air pressure for mine drilling. Now look up into the sky. The Allison V1710 V12 was the heart of the P-38 fighter in World War II. More than 70,000 units were produced. This engine could deliver about 1,150 horsepower at takeoff. Even though its supercharger could run short of breath at high altitude, its connecting rods and crankshaft were brutally durable, surviving continuous combat stress and helping pilots keep power through intense dogfights. Whether it's a steam plant from 1881 or a boosted V12, mechanical machines were designed to work the hardest jobs until every last bit of power is used. The cast iron and steel blocks still firing on test grounds are the clearest proof of mechanical build quality. Set the clearances correctly, use the right oils and grease, follow strict lubrication discipline, and these machines will never die on the job. Thank you for watching The Engine History. In today's heavy engine lineup, which configuration do you respect most? Slow RPM, stubborn torque, or high output V12 power under boost? Leave your analysis in the comments below. The team will pick it up and break down every specification in the next episode. Wishing you strong health.